Vegeta. Yes, everyone knows him, whether it's his great quotes to work out to or just simple badassery that makes you smile. But not everyone truly understands Vegeta atop on his lonely throne as the Prince of Saiyans. To be a king, what does it mean? What does it mean for one that is truly known as the undisputed ruler? How can we comprehend and identify who is truly deserving as the candidate for the responsibility as king? Well, concerning the superficial knowledge many people associate with Vegeta, we won't actually know. In fact, that's precisely why I'll be discussing the proud, egotistical, and possibly most badass character of all time, Vegeta, and how he is the uncrowned king of Dragon Ball Z.
Let me ask you, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear?
But before we get into the video, don't forget to show your support by hitting the subscribe and like button as always. Firstly, I'd like to say that even Nappa and Raditz personify his self-infatuation of being the king, as he used them as pawns to achieve his goals. This adjuncts Vegeta's elaborately designed character, and explains how his rule is so prominent within the show Dragon Ball Z. The exceptional writing and development Vegeta gets as a necessity to adapt to his circumstances is indicative of the great adversity he had to face within the show. Even when young, Vegeta was battling Cybermen who were more powerful than he was, in order to survive. This shows that Vegeta not only learned the hard way, but lived it too. His constant desire to battle is now what gives him purpose and to continue pushing to new limits. This intrinsically makes Vegeta's journey more enjoyable to watch as you see a self-centered, egotistical boy evolve into a self-enlightened, open-minded and ethical man. Nevertheless, Vegeta's character still holds that cynical and prideful approach to it, but instead of it taking control of his mind, he has it suppressed and learned to use it over time. For instance, in the Tournament of Power, even though Vegeta got eliminated, he still put up a fight for his pride, and then was encouraging Goku to beat Jiren, as he didn't want to see Jiren best Goku, which would mean his goal of surpassing Goku would become obsolete. Even Vegeta allowing Bobbity to give him his pride back, the pride he once so symbolically held, which inevitably meant his old ways too, and the evil that lay dormant within his heart so that he could learn how to live as an actual human being. Throughout Dragon Ball Z, there are many instances where Vegeta's personality shines. Especially when Vegeta gets the upper hand, he uses it to his advantage. But most, if not all the time, it backfires. Against Second Form Cell, he allowed him to transform, as his cocky nature and arrogance got the best of him. Or even in Super, against Golden Frieza, the same applied, and I feel like that's partially one of the reasons why we don't see Vegeta get much in terms of winning. It's because his character itself is written in a way that would not allow him to finish off his adversaries without some sort of showboating. He literally has a form called Ultra Ego. Vegeta's personality traits conjointly work with his involvement within the show. In the Saiyan saga, having the condescending attitude against Goku and this impending discrimination for all creatures that were weaker than him, which is related to his way of living. His philosophy on life is that the strong will persist and the weak will perish sooner or later. But despite this, he believes that even if you're weak, you should still use it to fuel your redemption to becoming strong again. Consequently making Vegeta have to increase the traits he was lacking. Surprisingly, intelligence, battle IQ and other minute details like this is what Vegeta had to equalize to be strong. He had to find other ways to attribute his strength, which came in the form of intellect, having the ability to adapt to many battle situations. Even against Goku, he had to find out a way to achieve the level of Super Saiyan, as Goku having that ability symbolizes how he was on a whole nother level from Vegeta, quite literally opposing every viewpoint and ideology Vegeta held. In essence, Vegeta blowing himself up against Buu signified his change and self-realization that not everything in the world revolves around violence and fighting. Vegeta's cold outlook on things was what made him truly who he was, known for being a maniacal person. It was only his circumstances that made him that way, evident when he died against Frieza that he actually had some sort of heart. Even if he still was seen as cold, he had a profound perspective on life and the way people should live it. Many may believe that Vegeta is a selfish character, only in it for the sake of hedonism. Instead, you have to consider why it is exactly he does what he does within the show. Naturally, Vegeta has his reasons for being the way he is, whether this be through expressing it in violence or using his philosophy on pride to approve and manifest his beliefs. We won't know, but this does tie into his birth responsibilities, the weight, the liability he holds. He feels it is his duty to be the best, not because he feels like it, but because he has to. It is his sole purpose in life. Vegeta acts regardless of feeling and emotion. He acts solely on his principles, and we are the ones who are allowed to simultaneously see through his perspective by the way his personality is displayed in Dragon Ball Z, especially with his interactions with other characters. His dialogue is signature to his personality, and in both a literal and metaphorical aspect contribute to our understanding of what truly makes him the Prince of Saiyans. His perspective as king is emblematic in a way, showing that he still holds the ideals of his old ways, but is concurrently becoming a new man at the same time. His old way of thinking, in a sense, became redundant, as his many sacrifices shaped him into being who he is today. That's why he describes himself as the mighty Prince Vegeta, even though he is not. During every battle, he has let the enemy know his name, as he will be the one to defeat them in his mind. He legitimately assumes that he has the know-how to defeat most of his foes when it's just simply his pride coercing him into this thought process. To summarize, one must not understand Vegeta before Vegeta understands himself, as you really can't fully comprehend his character without actually letting him find himself. I mean, we can all learn something from Vegeta. We have to outcompete at some point, and that's what Vegeta teaches us. We learn how to stay persistent and become stronger. That's why Vegeta is simply one of the most underrated complex characters in the show, as he has many multifaceted outlets in terms of ideologies, which is possibly why no one understands Vegeta. If you like this video, don't hesitate to by showing your support, and as always, peace!